It is something to clap for. It is something to be excited about. Hey, this is Black History. This is Black History Month. Okay? We are going to start off, as with all things, giving honor and glory to God. So I want one of our pastors of Mount Pisgah, Reverend E.F. Ledbetter III, to lead us off in prayer.
Let us bow our heads. Eternal God, our Father, we thank you for this evening. Oh God, we thank you for this placement in this historic neighborhood during this historic month. And we thank you for this historic woman of God. We thank you, oh God, for victory. We ask your blessing on all that will happen in this office, and that it would all be a blessing to this community and to this state. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Next, we're going to have our welcome from Representative Lamont Robinson of the 5th District.
Good evening. Good evening. I need a little bit more energy. Good evening. Good evening. I am extremely excited to welcome you this evening to our state's attorney, Kim Foxx's home in Bronzeville. As I look around and I see family, friends, elected officials, volunteers, it is very clear that we will have 4 more years. 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 Progressive criminal justice reform. Let me repeat. We will have 4 more years of progressive criminal justice reform that we have not seen in the state of Illinois, the county of Cook, and the city of Chicago. And so I'm honored today to have many of you here today that again shows the energy that we need in order to win this on March 17th. 4 more years. 4 more years. I want to take a moment and to bring up a very, very special friend, Crystal Hamilton, that has been doing great work in the Bronzeville community. That is also a friend of our state's attorney, Kim Foxx. Woo!
Crystal.
Thank you. So when Kim Foxx campaigned to transform the way the Cook County State's Attorney's Office prosecutes crime and protects the interests of the state of Illinois, I believed her. I believed her when she said she would restore trust and legitimacy to the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. And guess what? She did just that. As soon as she took her oath of office, I was relieved that she got straight to work, focusing on justice, not just winning cases, challenging the status quo, and working diligently to create an environment of fairness. The state's attorney's office now focuses on justice reform and violent gun crimes. The office now has the vision and compassion to protect both the rights of petty offenders without the means to afford bail and immigrants seeking safety and asylum in our proud sanctuary city. As a community leader, as a Black woman, and a fellow Chicagoan, I'm so proud of the work she's put in so far. And that's why I'm supporting her campaign for re-election. I trust her leadership, her vision, and her ability to execute, which is very important in the role that she has. She's proven that public safety and reform are connected and vital to the future of our city, our county, our state, and our country. Her presence in the Cook County State's Attorney Office ensures that progress will be made. The bottom line is, for me, is that we can't afford for her not to be reelected.
Nope.
There's too much work left for her to do. Although she's done a lot, this is just the beginning, I believe. We cannot afford to lose the momentum that Kim has gained in her position. Violence has decreased, but is still uncomfortably high for all of us. Our justice system still marginalizes people of color that are poor and vulnerable amongst us. These are the people that I serve in my organization every single day. So they are feeling the impact of her being in that office. Attorney Foxx has proven over the last 4 years that she has the vision, the courage, and downright the toughness needed to continue this work. So as she continues to prove that she is the right woman to lead the Cook County State's Attorney Office, I hope you will join me in supporting her for re-election. Thank you. 4 more years. Next, I would like to bring up Alderman Harris from the 8th Ward.
Thank you. Some 4 years ago, Kim and I were on a campaign trail. And I can't tell you, when you get to see somebody day in, day out, you get to know the real person. You just can't hide yourself. Because whether you're having a good day or a bad day, when we back in those rooms sitting, you get to see all of that. You get to feel the energy. 4 years ago, I saw David beat Goliath. That's right. Kim. Now let me tell you that she is up to whatever is put before her. As a black woman, she's using all her talents and her skills and everything she's learned to make Cook County and that office a better place to be. Yes. We're fighting, as the devil would say, we fighting because you're making a difference. Now, if you was in that office and you weren't changing it, it wouldn't make no difference. You'd be back in. Because it's the status quo. It's the fact that you kicked up the dirt, that you changed the world, that you're transforming the world, and you're transforming that office. People don't like that. That's why we're here today. We're fighting against people that want the same status quo for people that look like us. And they're not happy that they got a champion named Kim Foxx sitting in that seat. Making a difference. Making a difference and transforming the world. Girl, don't let nobody tell you, don't let nobody make you feel like that you have not made a difference. You have made a difference. You are making a difference, and you need 4 more years to get to the difference. So we're going to give you that 4 more years. But let me tell you this. You can't ask me to bake a cake and don't give me the ingredients. All right, so you want me to bake a pound cake without eggs. You want me to bake a pound cake without flour. We need the ingredients. And who are the ingredients? You all in this room are the ingredients.
That says ingredients.
She cannot do this by herself. She needs her ingredients for her pound cake. She needs some baking flour so we can put it in there and make it rise. Because cream gonna rise to the top. But we are her ingredients. And she needs each and every one of these ingredients to make a difference. Because we all do something different, and in that cake, everybody got a different role. So maybe I can get out and I can reach out in the 8th Ward. But today, I'm giving you homework, and that's what I tell my community all the time. You ain't coming in here without an assignment. You're getting an assignment today. Today, you get to make a difference. Individually. Don't tell me that one person can't change the world. Kim did. Don't tell me. So today, I need you to be change agents and change the world. Just don't leave here and go put your stuff in your pocket. Don't just go here and close the door behind your house and get in and sit in and say, my house is warm, I don't care about nobody else. If Kim is going to be successful, she needs our ingredients. She needs us to make a phone call, women. We on the phone 24 hours a day. I got some people that do this all day long. So my people that's on Facebook, we need you on Facebook.
What about the chocolate frosting and the pound cake?
Oh, look. Don't tell me about the finger-licking chocolate frosting. So for my chocolate frosting folks, I need you to get out and knock on the door.
All right.
Knock on the door. Tell your neighbor who Kim is. Say, today I found out that Kim got character and she just didn't pick it up today. Okay, tell your friends that she's a hard worker, one of the hardest working women I know. And when I say that, she can run circles around me working. So let me tell you. So tell people about her commitment and her dedication to her career that she chose. She chose this. She asked for this. And she's doing the right thing. Tell people about that she is the woman that's going to make a difference and make this world a better place for people of color, and that she has not slacked on her promise or her commitment to do that. So today, I'm asking you, Facebookers, get on there on Facebook today. I don't do Twitter, so I'm on Facebook. I'm old. So get on Facebook and tell somebody about Kim. Get on the phone, tell somebody about Kim. Get out there. Whatever you do, don't do nothing. So today, what's your homework? I gave you 3 things, no need to repeat them. Thank you. And we doing 3 things to change the universe and make our Cook County State's Attorney, Kim Foxx.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue the program, I'd be remiss if we did not acknowledge everyone that was in the room. Of course, we have our esteemed Congressman, Mr. Bobby Rush. He's going to come up and say a few words just briefly. Of course, Alderman Michelle Harris here, Alderman Sophia King of the 4th Ward, Alderman David Moore of the 17th Ward. Representative Cam Buckner, can you raise your hand? Representative Lamont Robinson, who spoke earlier. We have Commissioner Kim Neely Dubuclay. Where is she? Can you raise your hand? She's over here. We have our Supreme Court Justice, P. Scott Neville, hiding out in the back. Ladies and gentlemen, his office is right upstairs, so if you have time. And then, of course, we have to recognize our union and our workers. Mr. Greg Kelly of SEIU is here as well. Thank you for all you do for working families here in Illinois and in Chicago. Thank you. And with that, we want to have Mr. Congressman Rush come up and just say a few words of support.
We love you, Bobby.
Let's give him a round of applause. He's been working for us for years.
I want to come and share with you my deep-seated, heartfelt conclusion that I have made in regards to this race. 4 years ago, I stood with Kim, and I supported her because I believed in her. 4 years later, I stand here before you, supporting Kim for re-election because I'm proud of the work that she's done in the intervening 4 years. She's been the greatest state's attorney that Cook County has ever seen. She's been the most progressive state's attorney that Cook County has ever seen. She's been the hardest working state's attorney that Cook County has ever seen. And so I want you to know that I am real clear. Not him, but Kim.
All right, Kim!
Not him, but Kim. Not him, but Kim. Not them, but Kim. Not them, but Kim. Not them, but Kim.
Come on, Congress. All right.
Alderman King.
I don't know what to say after that.
That was powerful.
Powerful, definitely agree.
Let's say 4 more years.
Definitely 4 more years. My name is Sophia King. I'm the alderman of the 4th Ward. But today I'm proud to stand before you today to bring to you a friend, somebody who I respect in the elected field. And as you know what they say about all of our politicians, but Kim stands above the grade, as we all know. She does. I know we've been throwing around that term progressive like like Oprah hands out gifts. You know, the last time I looked it up, progressive means, you know, somebody who serves the underrepresented, somebody who serves the marginalized, you know, somebody who really is working for the people. Not just somebody who throws a commercial up, throws some black people in it, and then calls himself progressive. Right? Somebody who's really rolling up their sleeves with integrity, doing what's right for our people. We have that here. We have that in Kim Foxx. And I'm proud, very proud to call her a friend. And they're also throwing around that false narrative that you can't have criminal justice reform, real criminal justice reform, and public safety.
But you can.
But you can. And why can you? Because we got Kim Foxx. Because we have Kim Foxx. She has shown us how we can run an office with integrity, have criminal justice reform for our people and all the people, and have public safety. Crime rates are down. People won't tell you that. And criminal justice reform is up. And there's no other reason than because my friend, the Cook County State's Attorney, the next Cook County State's Attorney, Kim Foxx.
4 more years! 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 4 more years!
Y'all really freaking my daughter out.
You go, girl.
Listen, thank you so much for that introduction. Thank you, Congressman. Thank you, Alderman Harris, Representative Robinson, all of you who've joined here today. I'm honestly quite full. I'm full. It has been the honor and privilege of my life to serve as Cook County State's Attorney. It has, for me, a girl who grew up in Cabrini, the child of a single mother who was 17 when she had me and 18 when she had my brother, to stand here at Black History Month as the first African American woman elected in this position, coming from where I come from, is no small feat. And people ask me, why do I do what I do? Why did I choose this route? And it's because it was no small feat that a girl like me from Cabrini could grow up and go to law school, graduate, and find a career in public service. That a girl like me, who's been a survivor of sexual abuse and sexual assault, who saw people hurt and hurt others, who knew people who had been shot and those who had pulled a trigger, someone like me who understood what the real impact of poverty and neglect looks like on families right now. Was struggling when we had no home to go to and would show up in class every day doing my best. Somebody like me could have this job, and what I know about that is that every day in every neighborhood there are young people who have the potential to do amazing things. And so many of those young people we find caught up in a system of violence where they're dying in our streets, and they look just like me and my brother and my cousins. And there's so many of our young people who end up in a criminal justice system that has for so long disproportionately impacted them, that our futures are locked behind bars for silly and trivial things. That for me, this job has meant an opportunity to show up in the fullness of every life experience that I've had, and have that level of empathy and compassion for everyone who comes through our system. And for some people, it's not just about the fact that I've come into this role and you don't see many people who look like me who do it, but that I do it unapologetically as a black girl from Cabrini. That this narrative that some people would try to establish about who I am and what I represent flies in the face of everything that you know about me. Right. This narrative that somehow she has two systems of justice for those that have and those that have not, somehow being told by a person who has. I just want to think about the cognitive dissonance of a billionaire's son trying to establish that I have favorable attention for those that look like him and not for the people who look like this one. To those who would try to talk and distract us when talking about one case but not the thousand. So I just want to remind you for a moment who I am and what we have done. Ladies
You've
and
done a lot,
gentlemen, when I
Kim.
came into this office in 2016, we were known as the false confession capital of the United States. There was a story on 60 Minutes that talked about the number of wrongfully convicted who had sat in our prisons for decades, and we all knew it. We paid hundreds of millions of dollars in cases of police misconduct over the years, and we knew what John Burge had done. We knew what Watts had done, and yet we didn't do anything affirmatively to do something about it. We reinvigorated our conviction integrity unit. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We went from the false confession capital of the United States to leading the country the last 2 years in vacating wrongful convictions. Over 80 men and women who were wrongfully convicted getting their lives back. Years in 2017, when we had that bloody year, it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, while our children were dying in our streets, that we were spending most of our resources on nonviolent offenses. That when I tell people that we had over 760 people murdered in the city of Chicago, over 4,000 people shot, that the #1 referred prosecution in Cook County was retail theft, was shoplifting. And what they will tell you is that she doesn't care about shoplifters. People aren't going to go into your shops if they're afraid of getting shot on the way.
Right.
And if we're not doing anything about guns, if we're not focusing our attention on every life that is lost, we are spinning our wheels. And every life matters to me. And so we raised the threshold and we focused our attention on violent crime. We put lawyers in our most hardest hit neighborhoods. We started in Inglewood. We went to Lawndale. We're in Austin. We're in 5 different neighborhoods. And everywhere we put a lawyer working hand in hand with law enforcement, we saw a decrease in violent crime. That's not an accident. That's called innovation. That's called using our minds and our hearts to put our resources where they belong. In 2017, while we were doing that, we did something else. I said, I need attorneys to go out into our neighborhoods to fight violent crime. So you know what else we're going to do? We're going to stop doing silly prosecutions. And I'll say it, it was silly. We were prosecuting people for driving on suspended licenses because they couldn't pay their tickets. Let me tell you how silly that is. You can't afford to pay your ticket, and so I'm going to take your driver's license that will prevent you from going to work to get money to pay your ticket. And then I'm going to prosecute you and potentially put you in jail to make you pay a bail to get the money to pay for a ticket so you can get your driver's license back to go to work.
All right, Kim. Go ahead, Kim.
That beautiful mind math that we were doing. And disproportionately, the poor people who couldn't pay those tickets look like this room. They were poor black and brown people getting records, convictions for poverty. And we said in 2017 we were going to stop doing that, and we did. And ladies and gentlemen, people came for me. They came for me. She's not applying the law. Well, I'm here to tell you that there are some things that are just morally unjust.
That's right.
And as a prosecutor, my job, my mandate is to do justice. That was not justice. And when we did that in 2017, they came. But guess what? In 2019, the city council voted to stop suspending people's licenses for failure to pay tickets. And in 2020, just last month, the governor signed the License to Drive Act that will now reinstate 55,000 people with their driver's license. Now, I remind you, we started that in 2017. And people say to me that you don't have the right to change laws. You should wait until the legislature does it. I'm here to tell you that sometimes you got to go first to let people know that the sky won't fall and justice will rise. And that's what happened with that. I want to talk about the largest piece of legislation that we did. When we legalized marijuana in Illinois, I don't know what you do in your spare time. You do what you do. What I know is that the war on drugs ravished our communities. The war on drugs and people being arrested and incarcerated for marijuana offenses disproportionately impacted black and brown communities to the tune of 7-1. And when I saw John Boehner on the news 2 years ago talking about he was investing in a weed company, I said marijuana offenses. And then I said something else. Not only were we not going to prosecute those offenses, we were going to vacate the convictions of anybody who had a marijuana conviction for an amount that was now going to become legal. And people said it couldn't be done. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't know how we were going to do it. But again, my job is about justice. And there's something morally unjust about people being able to profit from the very thing that has incarcerated so many. And so we worked over the course of months and found a partnership that would help us do that. And we sat at the table with representatives like Lamont Robinson and Cam Buckner to draft legislation that is historic, unlike anything we've seen in this state and quite frankly this country. We are the only legislative body that said when we legalized marijuana that everybody would have the opportunity to have their records expunged. Yeah. Everybody would have the opportunity to have it expunged. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when January 1st was coming, that we vacated those convictions before they started, that no one would be able to profit while those convictions hung over the heads of those before us. And I just want to give you a quick reminder of why that was important. On December 31st, 6 hours before those dispensaries opened, they had everybody on the news. And December 31st is cold in Chicago. They had tents and hand warmers and hot chocolate, and people was out there jubilant. They had music. They was getting it. 6 hours before the dispensaries opened. What I know from people that I know from college, let's say. First time marijuana users aren't standing in line for 6 hours on a December night in Chicago. Finally come out of the shadows. What I also know is I've never seen as much diversity in the marijuana line than what I saw in that line tonight. Those weren't the people we were prosecuting. Those weren't the people at Cook County Jail. And so when this narrative about who it is that I serve the people. From bond reform to conviction integrity to marijuana to putting our resources on a gun. And it's been hard. It's been hard. I have my daughter here who don't look at her all at once because she'll be like, you made me look at you. Who we had a heart-to-heart today about how hard this has been for our family. This last year has been incredibly difficult. And I have said from the beginning, I will be held account for what happens in my office. Both the vitriol that I have seen, and I want to remind us all what we're working with here. Because I don't want us to feel lax about what's happening, why every single phone call matters, why every door knock matters, why every post matters. That this has been elevated into this thing about this one case that allowed for white nationalists to march on my office on April 1st. That this one case that has led to people sending death threats to me and to my family, that people care about Empire that much that they're trying to kill me for it. Stop the foolishness. That's not what this is about. So when your friends and your neighbors are talking about this case, you ask them, why have people been so riled up about this when we were the false confession capital of the United States? Where was this anger?
Exactly.
Where was this righteous anger when we were locking up people for crimes they didn't commit? Where was this righteous anger?
It didn't exist.
When we were paying almost $1 billion in police misconduct? Where was this righteous anger when people were coming to march on my office about a case? Ladies and gentlemen, it's because what we're doing in Cook County is infectious. What you said that you wanted in 2016 allowed for someone like me to win on a platform of justice reform. And then what happened is somebody got elected in San Francisco. And what's happening is that they're saying, oh, this works. That when you watch presidential debates and everybody from Bernie to Buttigieg to Bloomberg all say we have a criminal justice reform platform that wants to legalize marijuana and vacate convictions. Where we do that at? Here. They say they want to stop criminalizing poverty and prosecuting people for driving on suspended license. Where they do that at? Here. They said they wanted to end cash bail and have bail reform. Where would they do that at? Here. They said that they want to do all the things that we have already done here and stop the progress. And so I'm in for it. My family is in for it. They have signed up for this work because it's too important for us to go back.
Go, girl.
You don't just show up all of a sudden and say that you're a progressive.
That's right.
You don't take advantage of our communities and try to come in as heroes. That offends me. I am offended by those who come in and pretend as though they've loved us, but they never showed up for us.
That's right. Yes, Kim.
But we voted for Kim. And so what I want to say to all of you is you got to be fired up. You've got to be fired up. You've got to be fired up. This is the race. And I know that on the national level we're getting discouraged because of what's happening in the White House, and we're going to fix that. But what's happening here, we fixing it. But I need you. I need every phone call. I need every door knock. I need every post. I need you all to stay fired up.
You got
and
it.
not to go by the way of the okie doke, because they're counting on us to
Exactly.
not be fired up.
You got it.
So I'm proud to have served you all unapologetically as the person that I am. You have my absolute commitment that our work has just begun, and I'm in for this fight. For those of you who asked how I did it, it's a Peloton and running, and Sophia saw me running. Let's go and let's get this done. Thank y'all. 4 more years. 4 more years.
So everybody, right now, let's with folks on what she means and with Kim.
Yeah.
Because she's